So Seneca, this is probably one of your last batches of the year.
I think maybe one more pick.
One more pick?
Yeah, maybe one more before the end of 2020.
And how, in general, was the harvest in 2020?
It was really good, despite all the weird dramatics of this year for all of us human beings. The trees were very healthy, and if anything, I kind of got to spend more time on the farm than usual, and I think that showed in the results. So the harvest was really fruitful, lots and lots of good ferments. Even the off-season ferments like this one fired off really pretty well. So we've had lucky conditions, and the new fermentary that we built helped a lot, helped keep things rolling, and kept the results pretty good. So we got good volume, really nice quality. Some of the chocolate that we started releasing already shows it. It's really tasty. So I'm happy with 2020 on the farm side. Sure.
Is it too early to tell what maybe next year could bring? Is there any signs in the orchard that you can
flowering? So we can look at flowering as like a precursor for fruit set, and so even as the last fruit is coming off, the trees are really setting flowers right now, which tends to happen right after the rain starts to come. So massive flowering right all the way through the orchard. So that's a really good sign that we'll get good pollination rates, lots of fruit. So it should be a good season again next year if the conditions keep up like this and we don't get crazy winter storms or other things that can mess you up.
Great. All right, thanks for helping us out today.
Sure.
Hey. Okay, so I was just, I just asked you that last question, and we're on our way out today, but I just asked you that question if there was any signs of what maybe the future holds for Harvest 2021 and the year, and you said, you mentioned something about flowering, and so we just walked up to block number one.
Yeah, just the top of the whole farm.
Top of the farm. And so what do you got here?
This tree is not indicative of the rest of them. It's kind of extraordinary, but you can see the profuse flowering going on this individual. It's going kind of nuts. And this may be actually like a state of wildflower that won't actually result in a lot of pollinations. Sometimes there are like trees with certain genetic indications that they flower a whole lot more than they ever set fruit.
Wow.
This may be one of those trees, but it still is kind of a crazy and impressive thing to see that many flowers and that many flower cushions. And it's all the way up into the canopy and everywhere.
So beautiful.
They're really pretty. The flowers on these hybrids are very red to purple, which is indicative of the kind of pods they're going to make too. But even on these lighter flowering trees like this one right here, you can see it's still got some fruit set that's going to come off in a couple of weeks. Lots of chorales, but lots of flowering going on. This is more like a moderate to normal amount of flowering, and it's just starting. So basically from pollination to ripe fruit is roughly 6 months. So when we see open flowers like this, they have a very narrow window to get pollinated, and the trees will always set more fruit than they're ever going to carry. So, when you see flowering, you're looking at the kind of like leading indicator of when your main harvest is going to come. So when we see this level of flowering throughout the orchard, we can kind of project 6 months out, 6.5 months.
Oh, okay.
And we're looking at when our big harvest is going to come. So to me, that looks like mid-May. So we're looking at, mid-May to June will be when we get our big harvest next year.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.